Hey everybody, Golden Boy here, and I wanted to drop a video today before 2022. Happy New Year. An important video that I've been wanting to do for a while is a Wano discussion on how I think it will all end. What do I think will happen? As of chapter 1036, here are my thoughts on what we will see to close out Wano. Last week I did my year in review for 2021, so here are my predictions and theories for the year of 2022. So starting off with Kaido, I think we will see a flashback to how he was treated as an Oni and his time that he spent on the Rock's pirate crew. He thought that he was Joy Boy for a while, so I think that we'll see a monologue there. Eventually, I think Luffy will defeat him. I think he'll use Gear 5th, and I expect Gear 5th to be Conqueror's Haki integrated with his Devil Fruit Awakening, because the previous gears were integrating Haki with his Devil Fruit. Once Kid and Law awakened, it cemented to me that Luffy's going to awaken as well. Speaking of Kid and Law, I don't think that they're going to defeat Big Mom, unfortunately, because I think Luffy's going to be the one to defeat Big Mom, and I really hate to say it, but Big Mom will probably lose to Luffy, because he promised her that he would take her down in Fishman Island. I do not want to see that happen. I don't like Big Mom, I just want her character to be done. But that means that I think Big Mom will either get amnesia or she'll sort of like retreat. And I think that she'll retreat. She'll try to get a copy of Kaido's poneglyph and kind of backstab him that way. Some say the poneglyph will be on top of that mountain in Wano. And so once she grabs a rubbing of that poneglyph, I think she'll just dip out with the rest of her crew and escape the world government as their ships are closing in. And obviously, at the end, I think one of the Straw Hats is also going to grab a rubbing of Kaido's poneglyph too. Meanwhile, I think Kaido is going down, however. But he won't be killed. I don't think he'll be killed by Luffy or Zoro or any of the Straw Hats. Kaido wants to die, and we know that Luffy doesn't kill his enemies because he doesn't want them to achieve their dreams. For Kaido, he wants to go out on a high note, like his dream is to die and be remembered. He thinks that you're perfected in death. He wants to be defeated by a legendary opponent, like Luffy. So once Luffy defeats Kaido, he's not going to give Kaido what he wants. That's just not what he does. The only thing I think that would ruin Kaido is if Luffy could, tame him of sorts. Which sounds crazy, I know. But that's kind of what you need to do to an enemy that wants to die. I think that Luffy's going to break Kaido's will and tame him. That's sort of the theme that we've seen throughout Wano. I think we'll see a Kaido flashback to discuss his time on the Rock's Pirates, specifically that God Valley incident, and we'll learn more about why he thought he would be Joy Boy. And perhaps this is how Luffy would tame and defeat Kaido. He would have to convince Kaido that he is in fact Joy Boy. Luffy doesn't kill his enemies, he wants them to be unable to fulfill their dreams. So how do you defeat a man whose dream is to die? By letting him live and conquering him, living out his aspirations. Like many, I think that the world government will be the final villain of the arc, and perhaps Kaido will be defeated by Luffy, but ultimately assassinated by the secret CP0, so his death would just be covered up and hidden. And that's the exact opposite of what he wants. He wants to go out as a legend, but if he's just assassinated in secret, that's a way around it. I expect Kaido might unlock his awakening and help the Straw Hats escape and free Wano. Regardless, I think Kaido is going to be defeated by Luffy, and I think he's going to be killed in a very unfulfilling way by the world government before Wano is freed. Speaking of freeing Wano, I think Momonosuke will be the shogun, and he'll potentially let Wano get annexed, which seems kind of controversial, but this will open the borders. The goal is to open Wano, so if the world government takes Wano under its umbrella, and they start inviting the shogun to Reverie, this is kind of what he wants. The borders are open. I'm fine with that. The Straw Hats will escape with the help of the samurai and the beast pirates, narrowly escaping the world government, and I think the world government is going to bring SSG. Yeah, that's right. Like many, I do believe the SSG will be on those ships heading to Wano, and I think the SSG, the kind of power that they'll be packing, I think there'll be some sort of application of that durability research they did on King, and then that gigantification research from Punk Hazard as well. Because I know that the government wants the gigantification, and we saw recently King's race had the durability. If you combine that and you have a giant that is not able to be injured, that would be destructive power. The SSG are also a candidate for killing Kaido too. It doesn't have to just be CP0, it could be the SSG, and it would hype them up if they killed Kaido. Perhaps Kaido will fight them off until the Straw Hats escape, until he eventually gets overwhelmed, and that would show what kind of powerful resource the world government has in the SSG. As far as the rest of the enemies go, I think King and Queen are actually going to stay down. I don't think they'll drown in the ocean, but I don't think they're going to get back up to attack Zoro and Sanji anymore. At first, I was under the impression that the All-Stars and the Tobi Roppo were taken down a bit too easily, but I actually just recently reread for that 2021 recap video, and it was actually pretty fleshed out. I think King and Queen were well covered. The only thing I would want to see from them is a King flashback where he can explain how his race was eradicated, and a Queen flashback to explain more about the science group MADS. I think the Tobi Roppo will probably stay down though, but I guess maybe they could get up, because the Straw Hats outside of the Monster Trio still have a lot of gas in the tank, so maybe they'll get up and fight more. Either that, or those Straw Hats will be protecting the Monster Trio from CP0. But that would be really, really challenging in my opinion. Now regarding who else needs to go down, Orochi, I think Hiyori will be taking his final head. She said that she was going to, and she has him right there. Like, she could kill him right now if she wanted to. So I think Hiyori will take his final head and kill him for real this time. Kinemon and the Scabbards will all be psyched, and in my opinion, Kinemon and the Scabbards, I think it would make a better story if they were all dead. That's a little gloomy, but in all reality, the Scabbards will likely all stay alive, and I think that they'll continue on to serve Momonosuke, who will not only be the Shogun, but he'll also be an ancient weapon with immense power, because it appears I cannot afford to die. I don't know what else he could be if not an ancient weapon. Tying up some loose ends, I think that the Beast Pirates could give up once Kaido's defeated, and then they would potentially join the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, because that's kind of how the Beast Pirates work. Whoever's the strongest, they follow. Maybe Momonosuke would lead them under the Straw Hat Grand Fleet or something. That Kazenbo will need to be defeated, maybe even by Usopp, because he ran to go protect Kiku and Kinemon. Maybe he's still tied to that Kazenbo somehow. And with that, the only real threats that are left are just CP0, and I think that they'll either be defeated by Straw Hats or maybe Kaido as the Straw Hats escape. I don't think Sword member X Drake will escape. I think that he's very likely the 1% man, and I think that he's going to die at the hands of CP0. And before all is said and done, I think we're going to get maybe a Who's Who's flashback, and I could see him getting put to death as well. CP0 seems to be tracking him. People that I think are going to actually escape, Caribou and Apu. I think they're both running away once Wano's all over, and I think they're going to get out alive, and furthermore, I think they're going to end up being Blackbeard informants. At least Caribou, but I could see Apu doing it just as well, to be honest. So wrapping a bow on everything, I think the Flower Capital will be destroyed, as Kaido is smashed through Onigashima into the capital, after, of course, Momo holds it up long enough for citizens to evacuate. In Dressrosa, they said that sometimes destroying a kingdom is a happy thing, and I believe that Wano will be destroyed and rebuilt under their new shogun. The Fire Festival is a celebration of the dead, so I think that we'll see Oden, Ace, Yasui, and others in ghostly form, smiling at the new Wano. Then at the very end, I think Hitetsu is going to reveal more about Zoro's lineage, and he'll give him that Kitetsu sword, and it'll be super nice to get Shusui back as well. I don't know if he will, but I would like that. Speaking of lineage, we know that Ushimaru's not Zoro's father, so maybe the Shimotsuki side came from his mother. Speaking of genetics, we need to get a little bit more clarification on Sanji's genes before the end as well. We know that his eyebrows switched back in 1036, so he should be good, but I'd like to learn more of why the raid suit did this to him, and if it's Lunarian DNA or not. maybe from a Queen flashback, or Frankie could even discover something in Queen's lab while he's taking blueprints for his new lasers. Okay, so who joins the crew? This is the big topic everyone has always been talking about, because everyone loves Yamato. A lot of people, Carrot has a cult following as well. But we have a Yamato, Momo, Carrot, and Tama as candidates to join. Now, realistically, I see Yamato joining, I guess, but I don't really feel super strongly about that, to be honest. I don't believe Momo will join, because he's going to be the Shogun. He said so. So Momo's not joining. As far as Carrot and Tama, they are super hard to pin down. Carrot will join if she has a reason to. Does she want to continue to be a pirate, though? I think Luffy would welcome her with open arms, but I don't think she'll join. I think she's just going to want to go home with the minks. She had her adventure. And for Tama, if she were aged up, maybe, but I don't think there's a spot for her on the Sunny, because she's not quite a bewitching kunoichi yet. She's still a child. So I don't know. Maybe she could lead the Gifters and the Beast Pirates as part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, though, but I don't think Tama's going to join the main crew. So finally, we get to see a little bit more from the outside world. This is always my favorite part of an arc. Oda just drops world events at the very end of arcs, and it just shakes up the story. I think we're going to see some bounties, and then they're going to be high. Luffy could be probably, Luffy could be 4 billion. He took down Kaido. And Zoro and Sanji, I would expect them both to be in the 1 billion range. We could see some updates, like Blackbeard's whereabouts, what he was actually going after, as well as maybe, I think we'll probably see something from Shanks in the next 20 chapters or so, because Film Red's coming out this summer, so if they want to make money off the movie even more, they should probably generate some extra hype off of Shanks by having his story line up with the movie release dates, and you could generate some hype there. But anyway, I think that covers all of those unresolved aspects of Wano that will get revealed in 2022. There's a lot, and this script was actually very difficult to write because there's so many things to cover. I probably forgot some too, so comment below if you think of anything I needed to touch on. But I think it'll be interesting to watch this video next year, and I can see how close I was to actually being correct. So if you enjoyed my fun and games, please let me know by subscribing for more One Piece, as I specialize in theories. But in other news, starting in January, I think I'm going to start doing my Straw Hat versus Blackbeard matchup series. I put a lot of work into this, and I did historical research on real-life pirates, so check those out if you like theories and you like learning about real pirate history as well. Have a happy New Year's, everybody, and remember, stay golden. Thanks for watching.